What about the incoming new players? Any kind of initial notes on that?
Any in particular?
Zardes.
Yeah, Zardes is obviously up to speed. You see him out here. Really good familiarity with Gyasi. He got acclimated into Austin rather quickly, got his family here, so he's in a great space. Obviously, his record speaks for itself. He's a goal scorer. He's a selfless hard worker, and he fits really nicely into our group, I think, and it'll give good competition at the forward line.
Okay, and then obviously you have Ruben switching out for Leo. So just thoughts on Ruben leaving, and then when's Leo expected?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. You know, we're going to miss Ruben. Ruben brought such great personality and charisma to this group. He brought an on-field leadership as well as an off-field leadership. So we're going to have to address those things as the season goes. But we will miss Ruben. I think his situation is what it is. I mean, family is priority, you know, regardless of sport or anything. So we understood that. We worked with him, and we wish him the best where he goes. Leo comes into us as a guy that we're quite familiar with. We've, you know, we were certainly in lines for him previously, so we're quite familiar with the player, and comes at a good age, comes from a good pedigree, and his family as well. So very technical on the ball. Will give us, you know, certainly give us some good orientation when we do have the ball, and his soccer acumen is quite good. So, you know, orientating and organizing the back line will be something a strength of his.
How do you build on a season where you reach the Western Conference Final? How do you take that next step? What are the goals, some of the new goals this season?
Yeah, we'll define those with the players as we work through preseason. But what I know from this business and what most players and coaches alike are familiar with is last year was last year. There was great success, and we were pleased with the progress we made from year one. But year three is going to be much more challenging than year two. We're not sneaking up on anyone. We've obviously had some players leave us. We've had some players come in. So trying to acclimate our players to our ideas, to the city, to our standards and norms are what's now necessary in the coming months. But we want to be a team that's making the playoffs. We want to compete for championships. 4 competitions this year: MLS, Open Cup, Leagues Cup, and Champions League. So we need depth. We need character. We need you know, a lot from our players and our staff throughout this entire year. It's the longest season ever in MLS history, starting right now and ending in early December. 11 real months of a season, which is going to be difficult. But we're building depth and quality inside our squad.
You just mentioned those 4 different competitions.
Yeah.
When you go from, say an MLS match to
Yeah.
CONCACAF, you know, Champions League or whatever, is there a difference, or is it just simply next match up?
Well, I think there is a difference in that it's an elimination phase. It's a tournament: Leagues Cup, Open Cup, Champions League. It's you know, those are games now where you're playing home and away in some of those competitions. So there's an elimination process to it. There's a finality to those games and results. So the league, there's 34 games. There's the understanding of what the playoffs will look like. But I think each competition is unique in its own way. The history of U.S. Open Cup in our country.
I assume that changes strategy then.
Well, I think
even though you're from an MLS match to
it can.
the others.
It certainly can, and there's going to be a different layer of schedule congestion, I think, this year, given the amount of games that we plan to play and would like to play. So, again, utilizing the roster, you know, in a robust way is going to be critical. We're going to need to use 20 guys in the first month of the season. There's just no two ways about it. We can't log the minutes that are required to play 6-7 games in the first month. So, utilizing different starting groups. Obviously, some of our young guys, some of our new faces. It's going to be quite critical to maintain freshness, health, and positive results.
Maybe we see a little bit of an elevated role for Owen this season?
I would think he's got more than an opportunity, as with all the other players. But he needs to play. He needs to perform like everyone else out there. I think there's good competition in the middle of the field. He will push, you know, the Dannys, Valencias, and Alexes for minutes for sure, as will many of our newcomers. So it's you know, we look forward to getting out on the field and as we say all the time, the players that we've brought here will show us a little bit more about them, and we'll learn about them. And you know, it's for us to how can we maximize their best qualities and certainly make them better while they're in our environment.
New number for Sebastian. What's that process like, changing from 7 to 10? How does that happen?
I think they just go into the room and they press a 10 on it instead of
Like the video. That makes sense. I don't know who came up with that.
I think that's the long and the short of it. No, I think it was something that he was you know, he was interested in doing, and he's changed his number a couple times so far. So I think that helps in some ways. But he is our number 10. He's our engine. He is the best player in the league in my eyes. And that comes with responsibility that he showed last year. So it's another big year for him, important year for him to keep leading and keep growing his voice inside the group. But I think he, along with the core guys that were here, have a great responsibility to now push on our standards, our norms, what we've achieved, and show and demonstrate to the newcomers what's expected and what we're capable of.
Was Zardes somebody you targeted going when the offseason started, and just what do you like about him?
Well, I think first, he's a fantastic human being. That is part of what we're looking for. The selflessness, his energy. He's a goal scorer. He does not get deterred by missing chances and the rhetoric that can come from that. He knows what he's good at. We are aware of who the free agencies are. We've done quite a good job of now capturing players in that space. Our fans, our environment, this training center, our stadium help the recruitment process in that way. So Gyasi was interested in coming. We were obviously good friends in Columbus and with the national team, and he's got some other teammates that have been here. So it was an easy opportunity for us to try to capture him. Now it's just up to Gyasi, and he took that opportunity, and we couldn't be more happy.
How do you deal with the heightened expectations this year? I mean, obviously, there's not going to be a lot of pundits probably calling you 11th or 12th or 13th to laminate. So, what do you think?
No, I think we got to welcome the opportunity, welcome welcome that challenge. It's we aren't going to sneak up on anyone. I think if you want to be a team that can consistently do it, that's part of the responsibility. We're bringing in players to be competitive in all 4 competitions. We know we have to continue to grow and develop our game model. Last year we made some changes. We're going to continue to make a few evolutions in our playing structure. But there's a good core here, and we got to keep building on that. Our staff, coaching, players, embrace the challenge, embrace the opportunity. And make the most. It's going to be a long season, and we want to, like I said, we want to be relevant in all 4 of those competitions.
Who is one returning player who you have high expectations for? Maybe had a good off season. You expect to come in and make more of an impact this season?
There's a number of them. I think Emiliano is going to have a noticeable uptick in year 2, being in this space longer, more understanding of our league, his teammates. Austin FC. I think Danny Pereira is another one. Now he's had 2 years of work as a young player in our league. We suffered together, all of us, in year 1, but that's also part of what's allowed him to grow. Him, having an elevated role, an elevated voice, I think is important. Again, Johnny Gallagher, can he capitalize on a year, a change in position, but a very strong year, and just continued development and growth by the entire team. I think Brad's done a great job, obviously establishing himself as a top-end goalkeeper in our league, and how can he continue to grow his voice as well? Just leadership. We lost a couple pieces of leadership. We want to pick that up with some character and personality inside the locker room, and those are some guys I think that can help.
Julio and Ruben kind of established a good unit there in center back. What do you expect the competition, the open competition, to be like for Ruben's starting spot? Do you expect Kip and Johan to kind of be in the lead? Or
I think
Leo
so.
slide right in?
I think you hope so. I think by design, I think Leo is the starter. That's why we've gone out and got him. And like Ruben, he'll arrive here a little later. He'll have to get physically up to speed. But there's plenty of time for Leo to get fit prior to the start of the season. And he comes from a good playing structure, good orientation to how he plays in his club team. So Kip and Johan are going to be competing, and I think we continue to look for another center back as well. So we mentioned the competition inside our group. In order to compete in these 4 competitions, we're going to need health. We're going to need, like we had some players step forward out of year 1 to year 2. We're going to need that again in year 3 to really capitalize on what was a good year 2. But Leo will get here, and we'll see how he transitions. But the expectation is that he's a starter.
Would you do anything fun in the off season? What did you do to get away?
I went and saw my oldest boy in Belgium. We went to Paris with Owen, and Tyler went a little bit abroad, but mostly here in Austin. It was good just to be here with family and get away a little bit. And I think the World Cup was as entertaining as we all hoped it would be. It was exciting. Once the U.S. was out, we were pulling hard for Argentina, given we got a couple of really important Argentinians on our team. But it was great. It was a great offseason that way, and now myself and staff and these players, I think, come in energized and ready to go for 2023.
Best round of golf that you played during your
It's getting worse. It is getting much worse. It's not good. That's not even worth talking about. But I do try and play. I still go, as bad as it is.
Any plans for tomorrow night, the Monterey River game?
We may pop in there for a little bit, not to stick around all night, but always incredible to have such talented players, teams. The history with both of those clubs is tremendous. Obviously, Sebastian, maybe a couple of our players have real history with that club. So anytime I think teams like that, players like that get into your city for spectators, fans, and for us alike, I know those clubs will be training here as well to get in front of them, to see them and kind of see how it's done in their way. But, good opportunity. Yeah.
Any other questions for Josh?
Good.
All good?
Super.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, guys. Yep.
Thanks for the.
Welcome back. I like this.
Hey, same
I think we got that.
new season, same Verde.
That's it. We haven't changed the color yet.
Thanks for explaining to me how the number gets pressed.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
They didn't teach that in school. Back
No,
then, so.
I don't know what that's geared around. If that's
I'm still trying to learn all this stuff.
Yeah.
What brought you here? What you want?
Yeah.
To decide on here? You obviously would have had tons of choices, but your skill level. What was attractive coming here?
The most attractive thing was the style of play. As you watched them this previous year, the combinations going forward, it's incredible how they combine and get a lot of crosses for the attacking players, but not only that, defensively as well, how they narrate the game based on their pressure. And, that was one thing as a striker that I really, my eyes lit up when they were interested in me.
So obviously you've worked with Josh Wolff before, so
Yes.
just talk about that relationship and how you expect that to evolve here.
Yeah, in Columbus, I worked with Josh a little bit with the national team as well, and I knowing him being the head coach here and how detailed he is for attacking players and having success with previous forwards and opportunities per game, that's something that I thrive on and want to learn from, as well as the players here. Talking to some of the guys my first couple days here, they're eager to get me involved and I'm eager to learn, especially from Maxi and Musa, those strikers that are already here. I feel like you learn a lot from the other forwards as well when they're playing and doing exercises. So I just want to keep getting better as a player and hope that I could help this organization win a couple trophies.
Yeah, and you've already scored in Q2 Stadium, so
Yeah.
talk a little bit about just your expectations coming in, what you think of the stadium, what you think of just everything.
Yeah, the stadium's beautiful, but more importantly, the fans, the atmosphere. They bring it each and every single game. Even last year, we played here, the Rapids, the last game.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe that, I think it was the South stand. They were playing music, chanting 90 minutes plus, and I was like, man, they're not even getting tired. It's definitely an atmosphere that's well known in the league, around the league now, and I'm excited to be on the other end of it now. Them being my supporters and not the enemy.
What else are you looking forward to being in Austin?
Yeah, so being in Austin, it's my first time really living in Texas, living in the South. So I'm looking forward to everything that comes with it. I have a beautiful family, and so far they're enjoying it. They're making friends and setting roots down here. So that's a big thing I'm looking forward to. But from the team perspective, we have MLS Cup, we have Champions League, which I love Champions League. Playing in that, it's the best out of the best, in our region. So I want to try to win the Champions League, and then you have Open Cup, and then Elites Cup. So there's a bunch of tournament platforms that are ahead of us this year, and I'm looking forward to participating in that.
How was entering training? You've been one of the league's better players the last 8-9 years. How is entering training camp with a new team? How is that different now, being like 30, 31, than when you were like 23?
Yeah, well, man, my body still feels 23. But to be honest, this is my first since 2015 or 2014 or 2015. This is my first preseason with the team. Usually I'm always with the national team.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm always gone in the past with the national team. So this is my first time to get in with the guys, start building chemistry, and also with the coaching staff, start learning principles and style of play and all that. So I'm excited about that portion because it's been a while since I've been able to start with the team from the beginning.
When you first signed with Austin FC, I saw a video on social media. You said you want to score goals and you want to win.
Mm-hmm.
Your game, how do you expect to elevate this team after seeing what they accomplished? How do you accomplish your own personal goals as well as those team goals?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is it comes down to training, starting to get up to speed, because a lot of the players that have been here in the past already know how have chemistry with players. They also already have the knowledge from the coaching staff and what they expect during games. So for me, it's getting out here in training, asking questions, watching film, and getting dialed in. So when I'm up to speed, when I start playing game, I can be the best me, and that can come out within the field, and also allow me to create chances to score, allow me to create chances to get an assist, and more importantly, allow me to help the team win. I'm super thrilled to be a part of this organization, but I know at the end of the day, you have to win, you want to win to create a legacy. You want to win, like I said before, MLS Cup. You want to win Champions League. You want to win Open Cup, Leagues Cup, whatever tournament platform or any game. You always want to win, and as a striker, you always want to score.
What did you think of Austin FC last year, second year in the league, what they were able to accomplish, Western Conference Final, watching from afar, being on the other side? What did you think of the club being on a different team last year?
Yeah, I've always watched from afar. I watched pretty much all the teams within the league. A lot of the players do. But I knew the first year, coming to the league, you got to get adjusted. And I knew after year one, the second year that it'll be different, and sure enough, it was. You find the right pieces with any team. You find the right pieces to the puzzle, and you get adjusted. But like I said, I played under Wolfie before, and I know they pay attention to detail. So the first go around, it wasn't as good, but the second go around, made a push for playoffs, made playoffs, and tried to make a push to win the cup. But I knew he was going to get the right pieces coming into this season.
What about the defensive work that forwards have to do in the system? I mean, that's been a hallmark of the team, especially last year.
Yeah. I mean, a big thing is making play predictable, and that's one thing this team does. Watching them from an opponent perspective, they try to make play predictable and dictate games. Like I said earlier, force the ball one way, and then knowing when to press on cues and triggers. And I feel like as a player, knowing those things allow your teammate to know, hey, if I'm going, they're coming behind me and going at the same speed. So little details like that make a big difference in games. And sure enough, they were winning balls in their offensive third, and 2 passes there at the goal already. So that's I think it's a key trait to the defensive work.
Let's do one more, and then let's let Gyasi get into the gym.
Favorite Austin food, barbecue. What have you eaten here in Austin yet?
Oh man, everybody talks about the barbecue. I haven't had it yet. Yeah, I haven't had it yet, man. I've only been here, I want to say maybe a week and a half, really.
We'll give you a pass.
Yeah, so, and we've been cooking at home, but I have to venture out. I'll venture out. Do you have any recommendations?
There's a handful. We can talk.
Yeah.
After.
What's the best one? The best one.
I'm not gonna. There's
okay.
a handful. What's the meal at home though? What are we cooking at home?
Yeah, I love this honey. It's a honey barbecue salmon dish. It's incredible. Yeah, I love salmon. With a little bit of pasta. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you guys.
All right,
Brad,
let's do this.
Happy New Year. How was
Happy
your
New Year.
holidays?
It was good. We made it back to Cleveland for a couple weeks, see family. Went to a wedding. It was cold. Happy to be back here in the sunshine.
Gets cold up there.
Week was
It
enough
does.
with that lake effect?
Yeah, the lake effect. We got stuck in the hotel for a day just because of the blizzard conditions. So yeah, I'm happy. This is much needed change.
Yeah. So thoughts on the new players? I mean, obviously there's a new goalkeeper in, Zardes is in.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. I mean, preseason, you get to see a lot of new faces come in and join the ranks. For us, it's about integrating them into our system, getting to know them as people, and just really just seeing what they're about, seeing how they fit into our system. And I mean, it's day one. We have 7 weeks here to kind of gel and get together. But everyone's been great. Everyone's been eager to get out here and train. And I mean, we had physicals at the end of last week, and I think we were all really excited for today to actually get out on the field and get a little work in.
What about Matt specifically?
So I've known Matt for a few years now. He's part of the Players Association as well. He's a great dude, good goalkeeper. I'm really excited to have him and join the group. Excited to have Eric with us as well. For us, it's always about the goalkeeper union. Obviously, losing Targe, losing Will. We had those guys for 2 years, so it's a little bit different with new faces, new dynamic in the group, but so far it's been great and looking forward to the year.
As one of the leaders on this team, the heightened expectations after what you guys were able to accomplish last year, how do you maybe handle that going into year 3?
One of those things where, like, we've talked as a club and a collective where that's kind of the standard that we want to be. We want to be one of the best teams in MLS every year. So there's no real added pressure on ourselves. We just have that standard. So in order for this club and for this team to be seen as a true contender each year, we have to set those expectations now, and we have to continuously do it every year. So for us, it's just about getting the details right, going out this year and building off what we did last year and continuing to show that we are that good and it wasn't just a one-off.
You've got the different competitions this year. You got MLS regular season, of course, but you got CONCACAF Champions League, you got Open Cup. When you go from those matches, is there a difference in your mindset as MLS regular season versus say CONCACAF, or is it simply a next match up?
No, I think it's more of like a next matchup. I think when you play these competitions like Champions League and the new Leagues Cup and Open Cup, those are kind of more like MLS Cup playoffs, because once you lose, you're done. So there's a little bit more desperation. There's a little bit more emotion that goes into those games. The MLS games, you obviously have 34 games across the season to get to where you want to be at the end of the year. But with these other competitions, it's really like do or die. So, I mean, we're excited. We're excited to be in these competitions, because that means that we did well last year, and it's another competition for us to try and win a trophy. So I think everyone's really excited to be able to compete for, 5 trophies? MLS Cup, Champions League, Leagues Cup, Open Cup, Supporter Shield. Did I name them all? Okay, 5? Oh, Copa Tejas, 6. 6. Don't forget Copa Tejas,
No.
6, the one we currently have. But yeah, so I mean, 6 chances to win silverware. So.
What is maybe something you do regularly during the off season that helps you reset, regroup? Is there one thing or in particular?
No, I mean, for me, the off season is, for the first couple weeks after the season, it's really just kind of turning your brain off from soccer, really turning your body off from soccer, just the everyday grind that you have to be out, you have to be training, you have to be lifting, all that kind of stuff. You really have to like recover emotionally as well as physically. And just in the off season, it's about just resetting yourself. And as you build up toward the preseason, it's really about setting those expectations for yourself and kind of getting your body into a spot. We have different guys at different stages in their career, and that means different things in the off season. Younger guys want to do a little bit more work to kind of build on, make themselves better. Older guys are making sure that their bodies are ready for the longest MLS season in history. So it all depends on like who you are and like what stage you're at.
I know it's day one, but maybe what gives you the feeling that this team can achieve even more than what was achieved last year?
I mean, we have a good base coming back. We have a lot of players that made significant roles last year, and we've added pieces. I mean, adding a guy like Gyasi will add some firepower up top. Adding, I'm gonna butcher his last name, Leo, in the back line gives us another option in the back. But really, like, a lot of these players bring something different. And the great thing about how we move forward is we get to keep our base, we get to keep our core group of guys, and then we get to add pieces that are going to make us even better as a team. So you look at the guys that contributed last year, you push them to be better this year, and then you add pieces to even make that better. So day one, the level was good, guys were happy. Happy to be back out here and excited to continue going.
You've become pretty much the club's ambassador to the city of Austin, and you've been, obviously, well involved.
Okay.
Well involved with different charitable, functions and such as that. Just reflect on that a little bit. The pride you take in representing not only Austin FC but the ATX when you go around to these different functions.
Yeah, I think Austin has been great for all of us. When we first stepped foot here in Austin, you could tell that the community really rallied around the team, really rallied around the players, and it was our duty to kind of reciprocate that. And each year, every day, it's been getting better and better. We get new fans every day. The stadium is sold out every game. More and more kids want to join soccer throughout the community, and it's kind of our job as players to reach back out and be a part of this community. We live here, we play here, we need to be part of this community because that's what it is. It's a community, and the more we can do and the more we can show face and just kind of be part of normal everyday life, the more the club will succeed in the community.
Let's do one more for Brad, please.
Ruben was a pretty big presence, both physically, vocally, in the defensive unit. How do you feel any responsibility in kind of maybe maybe being a little bit louder or bigger? I don't know. How do you feel a responsibility in kind of filling that gap?
Ruben's going to be missed. I mean, his personality was infectious, and he definitely had that little bit of fire that you saw on game day. But it's one of those things where every year you're going to have new players that take on new roles, and every player has a different leadership type. You can see like Alex, Seba, me, Julio, Hector, Ethan, Gyasi, Maxi, like everyone kind of steps on the field and has a different way of putting themselves out there, whether it's screaming, whether it's Felipe stirring the pot. Like it's one of those things where like it's good to have a balance of everything, but the pressure's not going to be on any one individual to kind of step up and take that role from Ruben. It's just more about filling in as a collective group. Can all of us find a new normal as we go on here? We'll miss Ruben, we'll miss Felipe, but how can these new guys step in and bring their own thing? Like, not every locker room needs to be the same as what it was last year. It's just about being the best we can this year.
Norway.
Yeah, I kind of knew about it, and it's hard, because you always put your family first, everything, and of course, it's gonna be a very important miss for us, for the team, for the city, for Austin. But the time that he was here, he was amazing as a teammate, as a player on the field and off the field, and we are grateful for that.
Josh, how do you think Leo's going to take over the starting role of a new player you probably haven't played with before? How does that affect you?
No, I think this is part of the journey, right? You move. This is our job. We move from team for team, and then we have new players and new teammates, and all the time is the same. So the guy that comes is gonna be the same thing. He's gonna work to try to be in the starters, and it's gonna be the same work for everyone.
First game of the season, 48 days away. What excites you about year 3 with this club?
Well, I feel like the first day of school today. I'm so excited. I'm so happy to be back. I definitely have a new challenge, right, for this year, and I think everyone in this team is thinking the same.
Josh talked about kind of the heightened expectations for the team, that you won't be sneaking up on anybody the way that you might have last year. So any thoughts about that and what the focus and the mindset of the team is heading into the season?
Yeah, I think everyone is expecting either the same or more from us, right? And so we are thinking the same. It's gonna be a lot of work. We have to put a lot of work, a lot of patience, of course, to try to make the same thing. And I think we can make it. We have a good team, good players. That is the most important, and we're ready for it.
What about some of the new guys, Gyasi, Leo coming in? Have you chatted with them and how they progressed in kind of getting in tune with Austin FC?
Gyasi, I think everyone knows him. He's a very good player. I play against him, and you right away how good he is as a number 9, and I think he's going to help a lot in the team for his qualities. It's going to be very important for us. And of course, Leo is center back, righty, and hopefully he can come and help us as well.
How have you seen Kip and Johan improve at all, and do you think that they'll be able to kind of fill maybe that Ruben-sized gap in the center?
Yeah, it's always the same, right? I think they're working for that. They know that there's a gap over there, so they're going to try to find the good way to get into the starters. Same as me, I'm working for it as well. It's a competition inside of the center backs, but it's always healthy. So I think that's the good part of it.